And now, ladies and gentlemen, a touch of the past, present, and future, Vernon and Ryan.
Now we have been around through many a city and town, but still we can't find out what it's all about. We mean, of course, the girls, the pretty little girls. We asked them once, we asked them twice, they make us feel like mice. Oh, why do they say yes when they really mean no? And why do they stop when they really should go? How can you answer that? We don't know where we're at. We're so confused that we can't tell. We kissed them once, we're under their smell. Why do they squirm when we just try to neck? If they keep that up, we will both be a wreck. We can't stand this much more. We wish that we could score with any one of our little girls. We're growing older with any one of our little girls.
Aren't the folks out there really wonderful?
Ah, they certainly are, Eddie. You know, they give you the feeling of, well, they give you the feeling of old-time show business.
No, I should say they do. And you know, Glenn, when you talk about old-time show business, there's one phase of it that you just cannot overlook.
And that is?
That is the minstrel days.
Boy, weren't those good old minstrel shows wonderful?
Oh, I should say they were. You know, Glenn, minstrels were the daddy entertainment.
That's right. They used to start their shows off with that famous old line, "Gentlemen, be seated."
Right, and performers like that great monologist, Lou Dockstader, would come out on stage, and Lou would have a smudge of black on him right up there.
Yeah, and George Primrose had one right down here.
That's right, and oh gosh, there were a host of others. Names and fellas like Honey Boy Evans and Bert Williams.
Yeah, and Eddie Leonard and Al Jolson.
Oh man, you're talking about the tops there. And while we're at it, don't you forget those old end men there.
Oh, those comical end men.
Mr. Tambo.
Well, now, what is it, Mr. Bone?
Boy, I wants to know what is all this talk I hear about you having a job in the circus?
Oh, I had me a job in the circus, but I quit there.
You quit there? Well, why did you do that?
Well, I had to do me 2 jobs at one time.
2 jobs at one time?
That's right.
Well, sonny boy, what was they?
Well, first of all, I had to stick my head through a hole in a piece of canvas, and people throwed baseballs at me.
Oh, my, that must have been hard on your head.
Say, I have an idea.
Yes.
You be around here about a half hour before the show.
You mean you're gonna let me watch up close?
Jim Crow, you'll practically be right on the stage.
Woo! Wheel about and turn about, tin.
Wheel about and turn about and do just so. Every time I wheel about, I jump Jim Crow.
Give me back my clothes, please.
Since our show tonight is so strong, on comedy, have you noticed? I think it's only fitting that we call out a world-recognized authority on the subject and let him comment on a special aspect of humor. Please welcome comedian and former presidential candidate, aren't they all, Pat Paulson. Pat.
That's a laugh, did he? Tonight I'd like to talk about ethnic humor. I really think it's terrible what's happening in this country and jokes they make about minorities. I'd like to give you some examples of this bigoted humor. For instance, a joke I heard recently about my Polish friends. Why are there 2 pallbearers at a Polish funeral? Because it only takes 2 men to carry a garbage can. Oh! That's terrible. You know what caused the California earthquake? They buried a Pollock and the earth rejected him. Sick of these kind of jokes. What about some of these Jew jokes? In the Jewish calendar, this is the year 5732. In the Chinese calendar, this is the year 4732. That means for 1,000 years, the Jews did their own shirts. Oh! I don't like these. Here's a better Jew joke. Guy walks into A.B.'s tailor shop and says, I need a coat. A.B. says, I got a good one. Nice coat, cheap. Here, put it on. Guy puts on the coat and says, this coat smells. I can't buy this coat. It stinks. It's terrible. It smells rotten. A.B. says, buy the coat. The smell is me. Let's not forget the jokes about the Italian-American community. They're better known as Dago jokes. Oh! How can you tell an Italian bride at a wedding? Oh, she's the one with the braided armpits. Let me get a word in here. I think we got to forget these minority jokes. I think we ought to return to the good American humor of yesterday. Here's a good American joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Betcha. Betcha who? Bet you don't know who's here. That proves my point that American jokes are better than minority jokes. Hit it, Mark. Hit that. Where's my music?